I mean, it is really remarkable how fast the public opinion changes. I mean, just
it's incredible.
2 weeks ago, everybody was like, we need to keep it shut down. We can't be opening too quickly. It's irresponsible. You need to be self-disciplined. Just stay home, be responsible. And now all bets are off. No one cares.
Yes
Fuck
and no.
the virus, we'll be fine.
For going out and on your own thing, like people were. I mean, in Arizona we were not so severely confined, but in places like New York and other states,
But even
they
in
were.
New York and New Jersey,
Yeah.
New Jersey lifted everything. New Jersey said, we're back to normal, baby. We're done.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it is one thing that the state says, okay, we need to reopen and all that. In Texas, it's the same thing, but the beaches and all that stuff in California. But let me finish. But the challenge is that when you actually ask people, saying, okay, will you be willing to fly? No, I don't feel safe in a plane.
I don't know. We'll see.
Will you be willing to travel to?
Listen, I'm not trying to be political, but you had basically tens of thousands of people getting in groups together for protests, and those were the same people saying 2 weeks ago we need to stay home.
Yeah, I mean that was an exceptional case with the protests and all that stuff.
Exceptional or not, I understand. I'm not saying that the protests aren't right. I totally agree with the protests, but the virus doesn't give a shit about your protest.
No, I know.
The virus just says, "Oh yeah, baby."
Yeah, it is on or off, but they consider it differently because you are like outdoors, and I don't know. It's just mindset is different.
If
but
you're outdoors, I agree. Outdoors is different than indoors, but. You saw the pictures.
No,
and the
I saw that.
videos.
But,
I mean,
but,
when
but
you're shoulder to shoulder with 10,000 people.
It's all about confidence. I mean, people feeling confident, and you go to protest, and then you feel
confidence.
Well, meaning
It's not about confidence. The virus doesn't care about your confidence.
I know the virus doesn't, but it's the people's attitude. So when you ask the same person that could be demonstrating peacefully somewhere, saying, "Okay, Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, all very nice, outdoors, shoulder to shoulder with another person that he or she thinks is safe or whatever," that same person you ask him, and he's been already in surveys, and they say, "Oh, would you get on a plane and travel on vacation to go 3 hours away, whatever, in Florida or something?" No, I don't feel safe traveling just yet. Like somehow being in an airplane, confined with air recirculating and all that stuff.
We'll see.
I'm
not sure about the flights, but I'm saying it's amazing how quickly people went from it's irresponsible to be opening this soon to screw it, back to normal.
Well,
I mean, it really just seems like the far majority of people are at this point just saying, I don't care anymore, whatever.
I think it's not that radical, but it also doesn't help. And I don't want to deviate too much from the marketing part, but it also doesn't help when, like earlier this week, the WHO came and said, "Oh well, asymptomatic cases are not rarely are the source of contagion or something." And then the CDC says, "Hey, wait a minute, no, that's not true."
Yeah, I couldn't believe they said that because it was based on a very small study.
Right, but the thing is that if we've learned something from the last 3 months, is that nobody has a fucking clue of what's going on.
If we learned anything in the last 3 months, is don't trust anything that
Right.
WHO
I mean,
says.
it's like everybody has a different opinion. You read different headlines and news from even different countries and different governments. Everybody has the whole opinion.
I'll see one headline that says, literally, like yesterday I was reading, and it was basically like I think it was it Texas or Florida? It was one of the two, and it basically says, I think it was Texas, and it says Texas has been open for weeks, and basically they've been fine, nothing's happened. And the next one says, Texas hospitals
third day in a row with record cases.
They re-engaged their emergency procedures.
Yes.
Literally like back-to-back headlines. I'm like, so which is it? Is it totally fine?
Right. And
or
the same
is
thing.
it back to emergency?
Like the WHO was saying, no, asymptomatic people are not really a source of contagion and all that stuff, which basically was the reason why we said, okay, even if kids are not...
we don't know that.
Well, I know, but that's what they said. This is WHO, okay? And they even retracted their comment later saying, okay, we need to be more careful how we phrase this because the CDC, I know, but the CDC said, no, that's not true. The WHO is saying, yes, that's the case. And then they said, well, it's not exactly, it's people that may not have the virus and may not have symptoms, but if they had the virus, but they have recovered and they don't have symptoms, and they start convoluting the answer.
It's the same thing with the hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer for that is because one day I see, oh, it doesn't work at all. It's a total sham. And then the next day I see, oh, in France,
Yeah.
it works tremendously, and basically this drug saved France because now they opened it so any doctor can prescribe it. Basically, they don't need any special permission, and they can just write a prescription. Which is, I really don't
Right.
know. I
Right.
see every day I see about hydroxychloroquine. Half the people say it's great, it works, and the other half people saying, oh, it's stupid, it doesn't work at all.
It's
I
the
don't
same
know.
thing with the social distancing. They say, oh, 1.5 meters or 6 feet or 2 meters, or it really doesn't matter, like we saw with the protesters. It's, the mask is the important thing. Or maybe they say, oh, like schools are reopening, and we're going to get into that topic, but it's like, gloves are not needed, but yeah, they have to have distance and masks. The kids do not need the masks. It's like, oh, what the fuck? It's like, it's so freaking convoluted. Nobody knows what to do. Restaurants, the same thing. They're opening, and they say, okay, you can open at 30-40% capacity, which is basically like a suicide pill for all these restaurants
Yeah.
because they're not going to be making any money with 40% capacity. And then it's like, yeah, but the people that go to the restaurant, they can sit down and eat, and to eat they don't need a mask, but when they're not eating they need to put the mask on. Some of them require you like a face shield even, and then they say, and every time you get up from the restaurant to go to a bathroom or something, you need to put your mask back on, and it's like, oh, well, so much for going and having fun in a restaurant or eating or being socially engaged if I'm going to be like a freaking robot there with all kinds of things, you know. So it's not that easy, but the main thing is that it looks like when you do like there's constant surveys and studies that you read on the internet stuff, and obviously they are very contradicting, but it seems like people
It ultimately seems like, thankfully, this virus was not as bad as we thought it might be,
right,
basically.
right.
And
It was very highly contagious, more than any other virus that we've known, or more than the flu, whatever. Not as lethal for the average person unless you have pre-existing conditions, so you were older and things like that. So it wasn't
well, it was lethal, but it wasn't as lethal as we thought it could be,
right,
basically.
right.
And that's it. I mean,
And
thankfully,
then we know
we didn't. Now, I want to say, I've seen a lot of people playing hindsight here, and it's very easy in hindsight to say, "Oh, we shouldn't have shut things down as severely."
Oh, yeah, I agree.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, because what if it actually was way worse than we thought? Because if it was the opposite, and the virus actually was way deadlier than we thought, and we kept things open, we could have seen way more
Yeah.
deaths.
And then you don't know. I mean, they're blaming, and again, election years are the worst for any kind of situation because the press tends to push everything one way or the other depending on which side they side with. But you know, they were blaming the government for not shutting fast enough, and now it's like, okay, well, we shut the economy for too long. Now they're saying, if there's a second wave, we're not going to shut the economy again. We're going to take measures or whatever. I mean, there's countries that never did it, like Sweden and all that stuff. And whether it's correct.